An autistic girl refused to remove the same dress, so a family friend resorted to desperate measures. But before we start, please give the video a like and make sure to subscribe to Wonderbot and hit the bell so you'll never miss any uploads from us. During a person's younger years, they might grow attached to certain items around their home. Indeed, from action figures to books, these objects can become permanent fixtures in the hands of a child. But while most grow out of this phase, Kate Bell faced a unique situation with her daughter. A resident of Cheshire, England, Bell's little girl Elsie is autistic. Connected with that, the youngster became very attached to a specific dress in her closet. The item in question was made from a dark gray fabric, sporting a multicolored heart in the center with a jagged design running through it. After taking a liking to the dress, Bell's daughter then refused to wear anything else from her wardrobe. As a result of that, there would no doubt be some challenges ahead for her mom, with the frock getting a lot of wear and tear. However, everything changed in July of 2019. At that point, a friend of Bell's named Deborah Price decided to take action. Noting the delicate situation, she went on Twitter to share Elsie's story, before asking if anyone else owned the same dress and wanted to sell it. From there, Price's inquisitive tweet quickly gained a lot of traction across social media. The job of a parent can be incredibly rewarding, as they're tasked with helping their children through the early stages of their lives. Along the way, though, moms and dads will have to face down certain obstacles, whether that relates to health or behavior. With that in mind, one condition in particular can be very challenging to deal with. Autism can have a big effect on a child's behavioral patterns, as well as their communication skills. The disorder first came to light back in the 18th century as a Scottish man named Hugh Blair displayed some of the symptoms. Around 50 years later, another case emerged in Aveyron, France. Indeed, in 1798, a young feral boy was taken off the streets, with several people attempting to care for him. But despite their best efforts, the wild boy of Aveyron continued to escape their homes. Eventually, an aspiring doctor named Jean Itard was able to study him, noting some autism symptoms. As for the name itself, it first came about in 1910, thanks to Eugen Bleuer, a psychiatrist from Switzerland. However, during that period, the word was solely used in Bleuer's study of schizophrenia. It would be another few years before those in the medical profession started to attribute autism to the symptoms we know today. Meanwhile, the first autism diagnosis came at the back end of the 1930s in Baltimore, Maryland. The patient's name was Donald Triplett, but he was better known as Case 1 within medical circles. Dr. Leo Kanner made the assessment before studying the condition further in one of his research panels. Since then, more information has come to light about autism, with occasions such as World Autism Awareness Day raising its profile. Furthermore, it was believed that more than 24 million individuals were affected worldwide back in 2015. Given those numbers, it's worth taking a closer look at the condition. Autism is not just one condition, rather, it's a label for a wide grouping of conditions. Consequently, it's sometimes known as autism spectrum disorder, ASD. Those conditions tend to bring difficulties in socializing and communicating, and people with ASD might find comfort in doing the same things over and over. And it's fairly common. The Centers for Disease Control say that out of every 59 American kids, one will have autism. But the variety of outcomes in ASD can lead to different levels of function. Some will have high skills and abilities, while others will struggle with symptoms that it brings. Indeed, there are a plethora of different kinds of autism, running across a spectrum of differences. On the whole, a mix of factors from the environment and genetics combine to cause separate conditions. This leads to people having their own problems to cope with and their own high points to celebrate. While this does mean that some who live with ASD will need a great deal of help in living their lives day to day, others won't. It's possible for some to have independent lives, and because there's a spectrum of autism, people sit at different points between those two poles. With such a range of autistic conditions in the spectrum, parents will be on the lookout for signs in their children, and ASD will usually make itself known by the time a child is 2 or 3 years old. It's too simplistic to be specific, but there are some things that are associated with autism. On the physical side, autism often comes with sensitivities in the realm of senses, seizures, problems with sleep or gut disorders. At the same time, in the area of mental health, autistic kids might show signs of anxiety or depression, and they might have difficulties maintaining attention. Interestingly, autism can be spotted in infants, with kids as young as 18 months old showing delays in development that are connected with autism. But this isn't entirely the bad news that it seems to be at first glance. Catching autism and getting support in place early will show benefits later, as research has demonstrated. Meanwhile, Kate Bell is one of those people who's faced down the condition in recent years. Her young daughter Elsie has it, which led the mom to create a Facebook page detailing her adventures. But in July 2019, the pair hit the headlines on social media after Belle looked for some help. Belle's daughter had fallen in love with a dark gray dress in her wardrobe that she wanted to wear every day. Elsie refused to put anything else on, leaving her mother in a tricky position. Due to its constant use, the frock was suffering from plenty of wear and tear, meaning that it didn't look like it would last in the long term. On that note, one of Belle's friends decided to step up and assist her during her time of need. Deborah Price devised a plan to lessen the strain on Elsie's dress before sharing it on Twitter over the summer. Despite her initial intentions, not even she could have predicted what would happen next. "My friend's autistic daughter only wears this dress," Price wrote on the social media website in July 2019. "Don't judge. Sometimes people can't cope with certain stuff, and it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, does it?" With that in mind, she put forward her plan to help Belle and Elsie. Price added, "Question is, can anyone get this next official dress from 3 years ago in an 11+? And if so, can we buy them off you?" Alongside the tweet, Belle's friend included a picture of the dress as well, which stood out thanks to its multicolored heart in the center of the chest. Before long, Price's plea was generating plenty of attention on Twitter as online users came together to offer their help. From posting links to eBay to sharing their advice, she was inundated with responses. However, a few of those replies really stood out, with people looking to do their part. "I don't have the dress," wrote one Twitter user in the comment section, "but if it would help, I'd be happy to get some of the fabric. Is it just plain black tea cotton? And try to make a similar one for Elsie." Price appeared to like that idea in her response, leading the user to take a closer look at the dress. "Looking at it there," the person wrote, "it looks like it's a ring-spun cotton jersey with unhemmed arms and hem, and a t-shirt neck, most of which I could likely recreate from an old XXXL men's t-shirt from a charity shop, which is worn in already, though it would have a one-side seam." Elsewhere, another social media user came forward with some good news, revealing that they owned one of the dresses, but there was a potential drawback though. "I do have this in age 10, my daughter never wore it as she didn't like the color gray," they wrote. "Happy to send you if you think it'll fit." Unsurprisingly, Price was thrilled by the gesture, noting that she'd consult Belle ahead of giving them the green light. Following the conversation, the mom's friend then came back and confirmed that they would be interested in taking the dress, and she made the user an offer of her own as well. "Belle says that would be amazing if it's okay with you," Price wrote in response to the user, "because her little girl can wear it at home and have a slightly longer one than they've already got for school. Thank you so much. Let me know if you'd like some money for it." As the replies continued to flood in on Twitter, Price then received a response that left her shocked. Indeed, Next contacted her directly through its official Twitter account, having produced the dress a few years earlier. In the resulting message, the clothing company tried to find a solution to the problem. "Hey Deborah," read Next's message on the social media website, "we've dropped this item from our range, but we'd still like to help get this item for your friend's daughter. We can't guarantee, but we'll try our very best to contact the supplier and see if they can produce a few more batches of this dress." However, the twists and turns didn't end there, as someone else replied to Price's tweet. Much like one of the previous users, they had the exact same dress, albeit in a slightly bigger size. To prove that they were genuine, they snapped a photo of their daughter holding up the item. By that point, Price's inquisitive tweet had gone viral, with her message generating a massive response across Twitter. Since then, her initial post has earned close to 8,500 likes and more than 3,000 retweets. In addition to that, it's also garnered more than 200 comments, which delighted Belle's buddy. Price wrote, "Such a pile of flippin' lovely people you are. We've got suggestions on Mumsnet, a Facebook group, people offering to make one. Next to themselves talking to the supplier on Monday. Thank you so much." But her reaction to the outpouring of online support didn't stop there. After praising the social media users who offered their help, Price followed up with an interesting comment. "This is lovely," she continued. "It's like Twitter used to be before the hate." From there, she had a message for Belle, adding, "Look at all the amazing people trying to get your little girl a frock. It's brilliant." Some 24 hours after the first tweet was posted, Price then felt the need to write up another message as she reflected on everything that happened. Looking back at the previous day, Belle's friend now delved a bit deeper into what the responses meant to her. Evidently, she was truly touched. Yesterday I put a tweet out asking people if they had this next dress from 3 years ago. Price wrote on Twitter in July 2019, "Because my friend Kate Bell has a daughter with autism who can only wear that dress. Elsie will eventually grow out of her fascination with this dress, or not. Who cares? Doesn't matter." However, Price didn't just focus on the reasons for wanting to help Belle and Elsie. She also had some things to say about the social media itself. "Well, you know how Twitter's generally a bit of a pair these days," the user continued. "It wasn't yesterday. Something lovely happened. People started to retweet it to look for the dress." After that, Price brought up some of those Twitter users, as well as Next response, hailing their kindness. But that wasn't all though. In the end, one lady said her daughter had an age 16 dress and she's sending it to us. Belle's buddy revealed, "It'll be too big, but it doesn't matter." Price then touched upon the other social media user who offered up her daughter's age 10 dress before getting to an important update. She wrote, "A girl called Mila found her age 12 dress, which will be perfect, and she said to her mom that she would send it to us." With that in mind, Price had one more thing to say on the matter. She added, "I told the mom to tell Mila how kind she is. She's given my friend some breathing space and made her daughter's day too. Massive thanks to each and every one of you, and huge thanks to the 2 girls who have chosen to send their dresses." At the end, we want to know your opinion about the story in the comments box below.